Alright guys, welcome back to another video. Hi guys, I'm 42 Set Hike, and these are my NFL playoff predictions brought to you by me. Alright, let's start off. Kansas City already has a bye, so they'll make it to the second round. Houston versus LA. Tough matchup. I think I'm gonna have to go with... You got, on one hand, you got the LA Chargers, Justin Herbert, but minimal wide receiver room. Like, that's actually good. But on the other hand, you got this injured Houston team that lost Tank Dell in the Kansas City game. And they've won games, like good games, but they haven't like shown up the entire time. So with the injuries, I'm gonna have to say LA. Chargers. I'm gonna have to say LA for that. Baltimore versus Baltimore versus Pittsburgh. I'm going to have to take... It's going to be a close game. At the end of the season, I guess Baltimore kind of beat up on Pittsburgh a little bit. They won that last game. So I'm going to have to say, if Russell Wilson really wants to ball out, which I don't think he's going to do, it's going to be... But you got that George Pickens, Jaylen Warren also. But on the other hand, you got Lamar Jackson. So, I'm going to have to go Baltimore. I'm going to say it's a close game. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be a close game. But now we get to Buffalo, Denver. Bo Nix this year, looking phenomenal as the quarterback. More MVP votes than Patrick Mahomes. And really, Buffalo got a couple good guys. They got Josh Allen. They got Saquon. Saquon. And a couple other guys. Well, including on the defense, they got DeMar Hamlin. I'm going to have to say Denver. I'm sorry, Buffalo fans. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Buffalo. But Denver's going to take that. Denver, I'm gonna give it to you. Minnesota and LA. So I'm gonna have to say Minnesota. No questions asked. Minnesota. So who doesn't want to see a Detroit Minnesota matchup again? But I mean, Detroit manhandled them. Alright, we get into Tampa Bay and Washington. Tampa Bay, they play the NFC South, or basically the bad teams in the NFL. They play like the Panthers and the Saints. So I'm going to have to say Washington had a tougher schedule. I'm going to have to say Washington. Sorry, I spelled that wrong. Good enough. And where did I just put text box? Alright, we get into Philadelphia and Green Bay. Philadelphia, Jalen Hurts, and Oh wait, Saquon's on the Philadelphia Eagles. My bad. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts don't like each other. If that plays out in this game, Green Bay might actually win this game, but Philadelphia, with how good they are, they got a couple injuries, not too many. I'm sorry, Philly fans. Green Bay going for upset. Because Green Bay plays both the Vikings, which are the number 5 seed, and the Lions, which are the number 1 seed. Their division is really good. So I'm going to say Green Bay wins this. Alright. And now for Kansas City and LA. It ain't a question. Kansas City. KC. I'm just going to put KC, not Kansas City. Baltimore and Denver. Yeah. Tough question. I really want Denver to win this, but it's going to be Baltimore. It's going to be Baltimore. Baltimore has much firepower. And the Broncos lost to Baltimore 41-10 earlier in the season. Now Detroit, Minnesota. Detroit has beaten Minnesota since 2022. Minnesota hasn't beat Detroit since 2022, I believe. Not February. It's like December 22nd or something of 2022. It was a long time ago. It's been a while since Minnesota's beat Detroit, so I'm gonna have to go Detroit. Washington and Green Bay. I kind of like this matchup. Like, on one hand, you got this fan base with a really terrible stadium. I mean, like, god-awful. Like, Northwest Stadium? Nah. I won't blame FedEx for taking their naming rights off the stadium. Because that place is a dump. Green Bay, on the other hand, owned by the city. You got Jordan Love. You got Romeo Doubs. You got a couple other good guys. Who else you got? Yeah. I can't quite think of the running back's name right now. You got Washington's got Jaden Daniels, Terry McLaurin, and a couple other good guys. So I'm going to have to say Washington. And so you got the Final Four, which is Baltimore, KC, Detroit, Washington. Actually, maybe. This might be controversial, but let's change Baltimore after second thought. Alright, KC and Denver. Washington and Detroit. Let's go Detroit. Washington got a rookie, but Detroit ultimately has too much firepower. So you got Detroit, and I kind of want to say, give me another Denver upset. Give me a Detroit-Denver matchup. Like, seriously. Give me Denver and Detroit. But ultimately, Detroit will be too good for Bo Nix and the Broncos and win the entire thing. So Detroit should be your champions if all goes to plan. If all goes to plan like this down below, and this will be a good playoff this year. But like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Most importantly, subscribe. Bye, 42 Nation and friends.